My name's Emily. I'm usually a DIY-er, but the second half of 2024, my family is living in Buenos Aires, Argentina. So wrapping up our trip here, and so I'm spent the last 6 months exploring Buenos Aires with my kids, mostly via public transit and walking because we don't have a car. And so I have spent a lot of time trying to find the best playgrounds all over the city. Mostly the northern part of the city. I will say going south has been a little bit more difficult. So I want to share with you the best playgrounds that I have found here in Buenos Aires. First up is Parque de la Estación Cochlin. So this is right by one of the Mitre stations. And this is a really fun park just because of how it's set up. There are a lot of different like stacked pieces on top of each other. And there's a lot of climbing that can be done both inside and outside. My daughter absolutely loved climbing on top of it like the other kids do. It took her a little while to figure out how to do that, but once she got it, she was thrilled. Climbing down was a little hard, but there are all these handholds for it, so that's the really nice part. So this park is really easy to get to because it's right by Mitre station. And I actually learned later that, especially if you take Subte Linea D, that's the D line on the underground, you can actually get off at, I believe, San Martin, and either San Martin or Palermo, and then take the Mitre from there to Cochlin Station and get off and get to that playground that way. We were able to walk. It was only a 30-minute walk for us. Like I said, we did a lot of walking while we were here. I did find that walking, especially my 7-year-old daughter, was key for her getting a good night's sleep, so that was how we did that. Next one is Parque de Vicente Lopez y Planes. This was an accident. I wasn't planning on going to this park. We actually were going to go to the playground that it's in front of the Opera House. And we got there because there's a train station right there. We get out of the train station, we go up, go to the playground, and the playground's closed because they're doing a bunch of work on the playground. There are a bunch of things that clearly needed to be fixed. So that was a giant bummer. My daughter kept telling me that the city workers had ruined her day, which I tried to explain to her that it was literally their job to make sure that the playgrounds can be played on. So we walked a little bit further and we found this park instead. And the great thing about this park is it has so many climbing structures, which was great for her because she really wanted something to climb on that day anyway. And then there's this hill that are different. There are different ways to get up the hill. You could walk up the side, you can climb up the handholds, you can climb up one of the ladders, and then there are tons of slides down it. So that was hugely popular with the baby. This also is the most swings I've seen in any park in the city. Okay, the next one is Plaza de Juegos Nutria Gigante. Pardon my pronunciation. I'm working on it. Anyway, love this playground. This is actually on the far end of Eco Parque in Palermo. So you can start on the front end of the park if you get off on one of the Subte stations, and then walk through Eco Parque and then go to the playground at the far end. It's so cute, it's so fun. There are 2 different play structures, kind of a regular standard one, and then one that is in the shape of a giant nutria, which is so cool. But you can climb through and there are a bunch of slides on it. There are a bunch of different swings there. There's also a 2-story carousel, which is so fun. Every time we go on the carousel as well. We've gone on the lower part and the upper part. Both are really fun. Could not recommend this one more. Plaza Granja. This is actually a new playground. It is right across the street from the U.S. Embassy, also in Palermo. It's actually really close to the last one as well. This one is farm themed, which the baby loves. Granja de Zenon, which is an Argentine YouTube videos that are like farm themed. They're like nursery rhymes here in Argentina. It's funny because we've been watching those videos since my daughter was an infant, having no idea that we would spend 6 months living here when we had both of our kids. So it's been super fun. Anyway, farm themed, super cute, tractor, silo, there are cows that they can ride on, there's sunflowers everywhere, really cute. Not as easy, I mean, it's still easy to get to, it's not that hard to get to. And it's really cute. It was a little crowded, I think, when we went because it was brand new. Just opened that week. It's probably not as crowded now. Next one is Plaza Inocentes de Armenia. This is also in Palermo. Seems like some of the best playgrounds are in Palermo. Mostly because I think that's where the city is spending money to revamp playgrounds, because there are other playgrounds around the city that are not as nice. That I've seen it, I can attest to that. Anyway, so this one is massive. There are 2 different parts of it. that are connected by a bridge that goes over like a walkway, because it's a really big park. And one side is more for younger kids and the other side is more for older kids. My kids were happy on both ends. The baby loved the steering wheel on the pirate ship that was on the older kid side. Definitely a fun park to go to. The other nice thing about this park is it is really close to some really nice outdoor shopping in Palermo. So if you're shopping and you have your kids with you, maybe you leave your kids and somebody who doesn't want to shop at the playground and you go shop. Next one is Plaza Intendente Cesares. This one is again in Palermo, and it's not that far from Echo Parque either. These are all within a few kilometers of each other. Seeing a pattern here. So this one is super cool because it is tree themed. So it's this giant tree, and all of the stuff around it is kind of like bugs and animals, things that would live in and around trees. I will say the big tree part is really not geared towards smaller kids. They do have this mushroom structure that's for younger kids. It's still not for little kids like my toddler. My toddler is still under the age of 2, so he's a really big toddler, but there's some stuff that I feel like wasn't exactly geared towards that age. There are other parks that we've been to that are more geared towards his age. This one was not one of them. This one was packed when we went. We also went after school was out, so keep that in mind. If you want to go like morning or early afternoon, not in the evening, not midday, because those are when they're busiest. Okay, the next one is Plaza Noruega. The next one is Plaza Noruega. Again, pardon my pronunciation. This one is actually located in Belgrano. It's not super far away from where our apartment was. And this is so cute. I love the little houses, the different colored houses. And this was definitely more geared towards a younger audience. So I guess not as fun for my 7-year-old. She still really loved this one. But I will say that it was much more fun for my son. The one downside of this playground is almost every single playground in Buenos Aires is fenced in. Like the playground is fenced in separate from the rest of the park. This one is not. The whole park is fenced in, but the playground is not fenced in separately. So my son would try to escape through the gates, which is not ideal, but that's my only downside for this one. Okay, the next one is Plaza República Árabe de Egipto. If you're noticing this, a lot of these are like plazas of other countries. So we have the Armenian one and the Norway one, and this is the Egyptian one. I think that's just something they do here. I think it's really cool. So this specific playground is right across the street from the planetarium, and it's space themed. There's a giant rocket ship and planets, and it is so cool. I really wish that we'd gone earlier in the day so we'd spent more time there, because it was absolutely cool. It was kind of hard to get to because there is no train station nearby. There are buses. When I only talk about trains, the buses in Argentina are very intimidating, and I would definitely say as a tourist they're very, very intimidating. The trains are not intimidated by the trains. But the buses are quite intimidating, and that's like a universal. People who are not from here struggle with the buses here. That's not just a me thing. Anyway, so absolutely love this playground. Super cool. The only downside was there was like this, one of the jumping areas was broken, and for some reason we thought the best way of covering that up was like half of a plywood 2x4 cover. Like the baby definitely could have fallen in if I wasn't hovering the entire time. Last one, far and away our absolute favorite park, was Plaza República de Chile. The Chile Plaza. So the country of Chile. This playground, mind-blowing. Again, another example of a playground that was fenced in within a fenced-in park. So it's supposed to be Andes mountain themed because Chile and Argentina share the Andes Mountains as part of their border. And so there's like a condor nest, and there's a giant like condor figure on the swings, and it's supposed to be like this mountain that you can explore in and on top of and through. And so, like this playground is so big that I could go in it, and that I went in it with the kids, and there's this giant metal slide that you can go down that the kids absolutely love. They climbed up it. They found different ways to get to it. Honestly, far and away the best playground in the entire city, in my opinion, and also the opinion of my children. This one is located in Recoleta, so it is not too far from the cemetery actually. Actually, every time we go to the Recoleta Cemetery, we go to this playground just because it's like a 15-minute walk, so it's not that big of a deal. So those are our favorite playgrounds in Buenos Aires. If you have favorite playgrounds that you have had in Buenos Aires, please share them in the comments so other people can find them. I have shared a Google map list of all of these playgrounds on my website so you can find them super easily. And thanks, make sure you like and subscribe so you can see more videos like this on your feed. Thanks for watching.